Oh, hello, hello, hello. I'm back. We're alive. We'll add spout to capture. All right, so there's our spout capture. I don't really know how this is gonna work, but I guess if this crashes, that's gonna be the stream. But check this out. Bang bang. Oh, actually no, that's not it. Bang bang. Oh, send screen. Oh, it's called send FBO. Okay, hold on. Send FBO. And then you need to do it in this very, very convoluted way. So you need to get the texture for the viewports using the RID, and then you need to pass that into texture get FBO, which is my custom patch. And then we should be able to start sending, probably. Oh, look at that. It works. Let's go. But actually, this is... That's incorrect, because that's the wrong FBO. Right, because it's picking up... Oh no. Alright, so does my patch not work how I think it works? I might be exposing the wrong objects. Let me get this off the screen. I might be exposing the wrong object. So in one of my changes to the visual server, there's rasterizer, visual server, raster. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? It's one of you. No. Is it you? No. Who was it? Oh, you. This was just absolutely horrible in terms of like finding out what the heck am I supposed to change. No. Where's the implementation for this? Texture get FBO. Please. I know you have an implementation for me. You're just thinking about it. Is it you? No, that's the bind. Is it you? That's also the bind. Is it you? How did I do this? Who wrote this? Patches. Add FBO. So this was in drivers, not the server. Yes, that makes sense. So drivers. Yeah, okay, yeah. So you do need to provide a dummy implementation, but we don't care about dummy implementations. We are using OpenGL ES3. So this is my patch. So texture owner. So that should be correct. That should be correct. This is the model viewport. It's not the normal viewport. Viewport get texture. So keep this open. Rasterizer storage GLES3 C++. So we're looking for viewports get huh? Oh, it's not the storage one. This is oh no. Is it? It's not shader. It's not. It might be just rasterizer, right? Is it viewport get no? Yeah. All right. Viewports get texture. So that's in. Oh, that's just in visual server, huh? No. No, that's no, yeah, it isn't. It is just in viewport. That's your texture ID. Viewport get texture for this viewports. Viewport create, yeah. Then here in the that's the bind. That's also the bind. That's the bind. This is the also what? Where's the implementation? Yeah. Because that's a nothing. That's also nothing. Oh, okay. So this is just in visual. Oh, yeah. Visual server viewports. Okay. So viewports get texture for the given viewports. This is the given viewport that my model is being rendered on. Is it because it's that's weird. That's weird. What are you trying to expose? I'm trying to expose the FBO. But for whatever reason, right? So when I run this, right, I'm running through the logic again. So model viewports, when we look at this, we can make this a bit smaller on my side or on this side, right? So what you see on screen, what I'm dragging around on screen, that's the spout output, right? This is not just a regular scene capture. I can demonstrate if I can drag it into here. So check this out. Look at that. This is my OBS window. So this is being rendered via spout2 capture. There's not really any things that you can use to configure it. But see, the problem is that, right, if we go back to my code, we should be using the model viewports IRD and then RID. And then from that RID, we then get the texture from it. So then I'm going to move this back up here. So one, I'm not lying, I am feeding in a texture from spout. But then here, this is the RID of the viewport, model viewports, which I know is correct because we can even check it in the debugger. So you look here. Yeah. So if I were to hide it, right, we can hide the viewport and then it goes away, but you can still see the GUI. So that's how you know that it's on a different viewport. And then viewport get texture, render target, get texture, viewport render target, yeah, for that viewport. And then I pass that texture to here. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's the RID of the texture, yes. And then from that texture, we can then get the FBO. Texture owner get texture, or texture owner gets, where texture owner is the RID owner, and then we can just call gets to get the underlying backing texture, which is why this is so complicated to work with in Godot. Like the way that the graphics backends are abstracted is just kind of weird, a little difficult to wrap your head around. But I guess for such a complicated application, if the rendering part is the only complicated part, then I guess that's fine. I can forgive it. But render targets, and then you get the FBO, where the FBO render target. We can try to look this up. So the render target is a struct from somewhere. Yeah. And then these are GLU ints, where a GLU int should be a uint 32. I don't remember where they come from. Yeah. Oh, it's an unsigned int. So in this case, it's a uint 32. You know, it doesn't really matter. So I've been passing in a uint 32. That's so weird how it's not. It's passing in the entire frame buffer. Or you know what? Is it because I'm passing in the frame buffer, but what I should actually be doing is passing in a texture? That's complicated, man. So you can't use FBO. FBO is just for really simple sending, I suppose. But what I need to do is actually use this new set of methods I have just created. So send texture instead. So then I need to I need to call send texture. So I need to expose that. And then I need to call bind shared texture, get the shared texture ID, and then remember to unbind it as well afterwards. Otherwise, you'll leak memory into global namespace, which is bad. I think that's how it works, right? Because I actually don't know. I don't know where these are put. These come from somewhere. I think that's what I need to do though. Because, right, I can demonstrate that this works as expected, right? Because of this, not this. Oh, I've just closed it. All right. Because of app data roaming, Godot app user data, puppets here, which needs to be renamed to vpupper, but default runner. So I am able to grab the texture from the viewport, but I guess the FBO object is, maybe there's just one frame buffer, or maybe the frame buffer is, it's composited from everything else, maybe? What was the FBO again? Frame buffer objects. So it's an OpenGL thing. Okay, so I guess I'll need to recompile, but yeah, it's not working how I thought it would work. Send FBO. So that is correct. Send FBO, and then I just use all of the defaults, right? Send FBO. Yeah. Oh, I'm not setting the width or the height. So usually that would actually result in an error, but in this case, it's fine. And what, you're not happy with the texture though? Because the points, right? The points of sending this, sharing all of this over spouts is the fact that you can send a specific texture. So you can see here, I guess you can't see my mouse anymore, but you can still see the GUI, right? That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. And that's why I want to use spouts, right? Is that spout allows you to just pick which parts of your render thing, of your rendering that you want to send over, right? That's why, right, if you go to here, right, that's why, oh, I guess I don't even need to show it on screen, right? That's why this is being rendered on a sub viewport. No, you can't, there's no way to avoid multiple viewports. But in general, you do want to avoid, if you're making a game, you want to avoid having multiple viewports because that's an additional frame buffer object that needs to be allocated, as far as I understand it. I don't think you share frame buffer objects, or at least I don't think you're supposed to, but you can composite them. But anyways, that's how this works, right? So you can still see the GUI, but the duck and the green screen go away. So the idea, or what should be happening, is that you should only see the green screen. This is how it should be looking, even though I had the GUI up. But for some reason, it's sending both the GUI and the sub viewports in, which is why I'm a bit confused. That's correct, but as far as I know, it's optimized. Well, it's not optimized. It is, no, it is literally 2 times the resources though. Like you have separate frame buffer objects. That's unavoidable, right? This is your render target, which is stored on your viewport, and I'm pretty sure they don't share frame buffer objects. Although I could be wrong. Yeah. I suppose I could check here, right? I could check here. So we close this. So texture get FBO returns a uint, I think, right? Yeah, so we can check this. Maybe this is maybe this doesn't work how I think it works, and they all share the same frame buffer object. Although that would be very strange. I guess we'll just put this in process. So I guess we'll just print it. Yeah, that's the easiest way of checking, because this returns an integer to me. And then we'll do the same thing here, except we'll just use get viewports. So this is the default viewport. So if these two numbers print the same value, then they are sharing the same FBO, which would be very weird. Yeah, see, no, they here, one is giving me back 75, and the other is giving me back 105. So yeah, I mean, that proves it, right? So they are using different frame buffer objects. Actually, you know what? What happens if I just send the regular viewport? Because these are different FBOs. Maybe I should be binding it, I don't know. Yeah, but it is literally 2 times the resources. That's the entire point. It's not working. Even though the FBOs are different. They're probably using the same graphic memory footprints. That's not, no. That's, as far as I understand, that's not how that works. No. So your FBO is your buffer, basically. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for your buffer to be to have a different location, a different pointer and memory, right? Because these are basically pointers, right? These aren't the actual frame buffers. These are, you know, GLU ints, unsigned integers. So these point to a space in memory. Why would you have 2 different pointers to the same space in memory? But then also, if you have 2 different pointers to the same space in memory, how are you able to do this, right? And unless Godot is doing some sort of weird abstraction, but that seems like a huge waste. You know, why even have the concept of, you know, a render target then, right? No, what I think is happening. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. There's a logical explanation to this. Send image you don't want to do, because send image is CPU bound, so that's not what you want. I guess we can print out other random spout stuff as well. So get CPU, just to make sure that we're not CPU bound. Yeah. So we're not CPU bound, which is neat. That doesn't help me at all, though. Send FBO. Actually, what does send FBO need? The FBO must currently be bound. I guess it's bound here. I don't really know. Flags used in frame. I could also expose these, but I don't think I need to. Send FBO. Send texture. This is host FBO. This I might need to send in my host FBO as well, so it'll render back correctly, or it'll keep it bound so we don't leak memory. Is it that the visual server composites the buffer? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering though. So it is a different buffer. That's what I was saying, is that it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for them to composite the buffer, because then why would you need a difference? Why would you need 2 different FBO objects, or 2 different FBO pointers, right? In the driver, this is the driver. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. Because these are the. This is the. I've verified they are different FBOs. Is there a way to debug this? So here, receiving spout into OBS. Open it, double click the source, add your spout sender, and then you can double click this. Use first available, poll time, use first available, sure, that's fine. Resize output, that's fine. Sending spout from OBS, oh, absolutely not. Streaming, no. Or, wait a minute, hold on. Spout to filters. Spout filter, sure. Wait, no, this is for sending, right? Right? Sending spout, so via tools, send your current OBS canvas. It locks OBS so you can't use it for any other purpose, or use filter, lets you send any active OBS source to spout. You can output as many simultaneous video feeds as you like. You just add a new filter for each feed. This is the best way to output from OBS. Oh, well, that's absolutely not what I want to do. Remove the spout filter. Is this useful? What the heck is this? It's a very, oh, my eyes. Oh, I've seen this before. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen people use this. I don't really know what I'm looking at, I guess, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I think what I should do first is try to send a texture instead to spout, because I know that I'm able to grab a texture properly. You see the buffers, I guess? Yeah. But I think what something that's easier is probably sending a texture. I think that's easier. Find method. I'm already over time, but I've already, you know, we're already here. So you might as well. So shared texture ID. Godot texture ID. So this is the texture ID from Godot, which is actually exposed, surprisingly enough. Spout send texture. Okay, we'll just go down the list. We'll just go down the list. So get senders. Yeah, so I'll need to recompile really quickly, but that's not a problem. Get senders. Get active sender. Get active sender. This is wrong. Like that. Set active sender. Not too bad. All right, receiver, we'll get to that. We'll do that later. We'll add it to do. To do, add receiver methods. Then there's set size. Get FPS, get frame, set frame counts. All right, so is initialized. Yeah, okay, that's it. Is initialized. Bind shared texture. All right. I think I might need to restart my computer after this because I'm probably leaking all sorts of frame buffers or whatever. Mostly guessing at this point, but I have spent my fair share of time just combing over Godot's internal workings to try to understand what I'm supposed to be doing. Get shared texture ID. All right, that should be okay. Eh? Oh, I'm missing this. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Build me. So we should only need to recompile this one thing. It's not too bad. This should be like really, really quick actually. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look how quick this is. Okay, so 64-bit. Don't need this. That's in downloads. Bring me back to Godot. Bin. Spout library DLL. That's fine. Actually, delete this. Oh, actually, undo me. Godot custom 3x. All right, so we can try to get fancy with this. So in default runner, post setup, we can do spout. Hold on. Okay, so now we have all of these things. So bind shared texture. Yep, get me out of here. Bind spout. If not, spout is initialized. Something like that. And then in the tear down stage, to do, this should be moved out to its own module, so it shouldn't be here, but for now it'll be fine. So in tear down, generate preview, blah blah. So we want to do all of these, but then also I need to make sure to unbind. So we'll call super tear down, and then also, oh, before calling super tear down, we do need to do, or no, wait, yes. Wait, yes, do this first. So if spout is initialized, then we want to do spout unbind shared texture. Okay, I think that'll work. And then here, instead of sending the FBO, what we can do is spout send texture. So we need to get the shared texture, which is spout get shared texture ID, and then we'll do was it working the first spout implementation you did? Yes. Well, technically it is already working, but it's not working how I think it should be working. So am I sending things to OBS like using the GPU, so it's GPU accelerated? Yes. Is it sending the subset of textures I think it should be sending? No. So it's like half working. So we're getting there. Texture, get text ID. I think this is correct, probably. And then this is looking for a texture ID. So we'll do visual server, viewport, get texture. Then we'll do model viewport, get RID. All right, yeah, it is just viewport get RID. I think that's fine, right? Send it. Please no crash. I have a feeling that's not right. Because it should be sending, but it's not. All right, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, you can kind of see some stuff here, right? So spout release sender. Yep, that's me. Then also spout GL cleanup DX11 device closed. Why was it sending on DX11? Eh? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so we can print out a bunch of other garbage. So spout. I don't know. What are the other spout things? So get GLDX. And also, it might be interesting to see what the valid senders are as well. And then see if it like hard crashes me or something. You want to see if this works? Oh, yeah, there's no senders. But then I guess, like, well, no, we should be registered as a sender. Eh? Is there a bug? No. I don't know. So there's no senders. That's neat, I suppose. Spouts. Get GLDX. I think I need to check this as well, just in case. So true. Yeah, that's true. True. That's true. True if the sender graphics hardware is compatible with whatever. Get FPS, get active sender, bind texture. Okay. I think I need to check to see if some of these are even valid, right? Get shared texture ID. So we can try this. Spouts, get shared texture ID, which should be a uint. Oh no. Okay, so it's 0. Wait. Huh? What? Alright, well, I guess we can just try this. I feel like is initialized is not working as expected, so I guess we'll just force it and then hope it's good enough. No, it's still just giving me a bunch of zeros, which is not right, by the way. Get shared texture ID. Eh? Is my implementation of this wrong? Get shared texture ID. So it's a uint, and then it's cast to an int, but that shouldn't matter. Probably null. Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. Null pointer is 0. This is true. But is that not how that works? Get shared texture ID. OpenGL shared texture ID. And then this is initialized bind OpenGL shared texture. Yeah. 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 Send texture. Send an OpenGL texture. Send texture creates a shared texture for all receivers to access. The invert flag is optional and default true, blah, blah. Host FBO argument is optional, default 0, but an FBO ID is necessary if it is currently bound, and that binding is restored. Otherwise, the binding is lost. Is it because I need to bind it to my FBO? Spout library is OpenGL only, right? Yeah, it is OpenGL only. This is true. So luckily, Godot 4 will be having spout support, or not spout support, OpenGL support, which is why it's taking a bit longer than expected for the beta to come out. But, you know, it's fairly trivial to hack this back in, right? Because I mean, this is what I did, you know, just add a thing here, add a thing here. It's just a few lines of code, not too crazy. I wonder. What is this? Is this a real thing as well? It might not be real. I'd be surprised if it wasn't though. No, yeah. So the OpenGL pointer is 194, but I don't have a shared texture ID. But here it's saying if I want to send a texture, I need to have a texture ID. And then a texture do I have this backwards? But even if it was backwards, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And also too, I'm not storing the shared texture ID. I'm getting it every single time. Does bind shared texture? Yeah, bind shared texture, that's here. Initialization status, don't care. Data sharing. I need to think about this. Graphics compatibility, get adapter, copy texture? No. Copies an OpenGL texture with optional invert textures must be the same size. No, that's not it. Texture somehow can't be null, right, from the Godot side? Yeah. No, my texture exists, right? My texture exists. It's 194, but the shared texture, that I need to well, I'm assuming that's what texture ID is. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe there's more information here. Can I introspect on this? Send texture? I can kind of look into it. Spouts. All right, cool. Send texture. Send texture creates a no, absolutely useless. Although it is kind of neat how it's able to introspect on it. Send texture creates a shared texture for all receivers to access, blah, blah. The ID of a currently bound FBO should be passed in, but I guess you don't need to. So if texture ID is less than or equal to 0, yeah, that's true. Texture target, what is texture target? What is this used for? Texture copy. So is the target the, like, do I have this backwards? What is this? Spout GL allows for a texture to be attached to the FBO where the input texture can be larger than the shared texture. Width and height are the used portion, only the used part is copied. Which one is the texture ID? Oh, is it the shared texture? Do I have this backwards? I think I might have this backwards. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now I have this backwards. You do that instead. And then that might be more correct. Yeah. That's better. So I have it backwards, but there is no shared texture on the There's no texture for me to send. Probably because I need to pass in an FBO, I think. Oh, there's so many things. But actually, there's no host FBO. What is the host FBO? Okay, let's figure that out first. So host FBO. Whose FBO is this? Copy an OpenGL texture to the shared OpenGL texture, but I don't have a shared OpenGL texture. Maybe I need to. Do I need to connect to the receiver first? So is there like a get receiver function and then So like if I can figure out who the receiver is. Okay, check receiver, right? Or what is this? This is 2.006 compatibility. Not necessary for version 2.007, but retained for compatibility with existing 2.006 codes. We don't need to check the receiver connection. I guess we can just check this, but we don't care because we're not receiving. Sender share handle. If mFBO is equal to 0, then this creates an FBO. You know what? I probably need to send in my own FBO, huh? That's such a pain. So you still need to do the... That's tough. I gotta think about that. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'm overtime, but you know, if you haven't given the channel a follow already, I highly encourage you to do so. I stream Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, and on Wednesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. We pretty much always working on programming related stuff. This is what I'm going to be working on tomorrow, maybe, or maybe I'll just figure it out during work tomorrow, and we can move on to more exciting things. Yeah. Here's the GitHub. 300 pluses later. Yeah, well, there's a GitHub. Give me stars. That's all I'm in it for. And give this project a star. VPupper. Virtual Puppet projects. That's what I've been working on. There's also a Discord if you want to hop into that. I made everything that you can see on screen besides, well, all the funny little people. I made that. The bot's mine. I wrote this thing as well. I make all my own stream tools. I don't write my own programming tools, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's find somebody to raid, I guess. Who is streaming right now? Let's see, who's doing Godot? Who's doing Godot? Godot engine. Anyone cool? Okay. Well, oh, it seems to be someone who's affiliated with Nova. Real world size text. Hey, it exists. I'm sorry. It's the text is a bit small, but anyways, get ready to get sent. We're rating Ursa games. Yeah. Looks like they're making a racing game for a game jam. Yep, I'll be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time working on this application. I will see you then. Goodbye.